Cameras are at Mission Bay in San Diego, California for the Unlimited Thunderbolt Regatta here. This is the 9th race of these big monsters who average 30 feet in length, 12 foot wide, 5,000 to 7,000 pounds race ready, and can go the length of a football field in 1.1 second. Sam, this is the second appearance of the day for these boats, but we only have 2 of them in competition, and only one really counts as I can see it because the specialty team has a chance to make the final.
Well, Jim, both boats here have a chance to make a final if something were to go wrong with either one of them. Specialty Leasing has 200 points, while the La Jolla Plumbing, a San Diego sponsor boat, has 113 points. So there's really only about 87 points separating these two. The winner of this heat will move into our final here later in the day. Ronnie Armstrong from Los Angeles, at Lakewood, I should say, which is part of Los Angeles, drives this Specialty Leasing boat. It's going faster here than it ever has before, over 124 miles an hour. He'll be up against a rookie, Jerry Hopp, out of Seattle, Washington, who just yesterday here qualified as an unlimited hydroplane driver. We're about 15 seconds away now from the start of this heat. Both boats are running, and here they come down to the starting line, Jim Hendrick.
Notice our clock is closing black. That's what the drivers watch when it's completely black. Side of the race. If any orange showing, they are penalized an extra lap. Here's the start. It's close to the shore. Here's Ron Armstrong of Southern California in his boat, the Specialty Leasing, qualified earlier this week at 124.309. Armstrong is a pretty good driver. Sam, as you recall, he did drive different boats. He is well respected. In fact, he drove for Bernie Littlesmith Budweiser one race in Seattle last year before Jim Krupfeld took the wheel for good at this very race 1 year ago.
That's right, Jim. And you know, as we watch Ronnie Armstrong bring the boat down the backstretch over there, I've got to say this about hydroplane racing. Something's going to have to be done at that sport's winter meetings this year. With this format, a lot of boats are sitting out this second heat of competition all the time, waiting for that chance in the consolation race. And as a result, I think, you know, it disappoints the fans, and it disappoints us as well, because Ronnie Armstrong, all he's got to do is sit out there now and cruise for 5 laps, and he'll move into the final heat. Meanwhile, a lot of the other competitors are sitting on the trailer preparing their engines for their one more shot. But, you know, somebody like Armstrong here, who is a competitor and a sportsman, if something goes wrong with him, he's actually hurt himself because he's going to have less time to get his boat fixed for that consolation race.
Well, that's right. But if he could just keep it together, the engine housing, as he comes around to complete lap number 1 and his stab over, this is the power of the Allison turbos as he comes around. If he can keep it together, he then has a couple of hours to get ready for the final. So it's, you know, half a dozen to 1, 6 to the other. We have a couple of rookies in the field today. Jerry Hopp is out there now in second place in the La Jolla Plumbing. He qualified 102. And another fine rookie who did not make this heat, but earlier today had a fire, and before the start of the heat, he threw his burning colony into the water, which was fast. Thank you. It was John Prevost from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Speaking of John, you had a chance to talk to him. Let's go to that interview, the young rookie, John Prevost, right now.
Sure does.
What about John Prevost? Your first race in an unlimited. You put a boat around the course at 125 miles an hour. What do you think about it?
Well, this is the first time I've been involved in unlimited racing. I've raced limiteds for a long time, and I had no idea this was such an exciting sport, and that's the thrill of a lifetime for me to be able to drive that boat.
What about driving it? Is there a noticeable difference from a 7-liter, which is an automotive-powered boat, up to one of these unlimiteds?
Sam, I had no idea these things were this fast. I'd heard they were fast, but I still had no idea they would come off the corner and run at high speeds like they do and handle like they do. These things are absolutely awesome.
Okay, back here to action now with just about one more lap to go. Coming down to take the green flag from Southern California, Ron Armstrong in the Specialty Leasing boat. Nice cab over. He's got one more lap to go, and he will qualify for the final. And that would be, I'll tell you, Ron Armstrong is a competitive driver, and he qualified here, Sam, as you know, at 124.3, and he will be the only finisher in this heat. We had some that did not answer the call. We had the La Jolla Plumbing with rookie Jerry Hopp that did, and he's down in the water right now. And watching the rest of the parade go by with his hands on his hip, and this is a fine young man, too. Someday he's going to get some good equipment, Sam, and he's going to give him fits.
That's right. Out of Seattle, Washington, Jerry Hopp qualified yesterday. His crew jumped up and down. Everybody was very happy to see him make it as an unlimited driver. And, you know, this is a very pleasant surprise watching Ron Armstrong go down the backstretch. Bob Patterson in Los Angeles, who owns the boat, has the only dynamometer that works in the sport. They've been using the dynamometer the last couple of months on their engines. They haven't had any engine problems all week here. And, you know, preparation is the key to winning in racing. Armstrong's been very, very consistent. Laps in the 120s, the 115. his lap 4 speed. He cooled it down to 110 miles an hour. Everything running real well for Ron Armstrong in this boat. You know, it was built back in 1968, but it's had a lot of work done to it. It was transformed from a conventional boat where the driver sits in front of the engine to a cab over, or I should say where a driver sits in front of the engine. The conventional, the driver is behind the engine. Here's our winner, Jim, Ronnie Armstrong, in the specialty leasing from Los Angeles.
Checker flag and the gun for Ron Armstrong, and he gets into the final on Perseverance alone. So he is the only finisher of this flight. Now we'll have the hot dogs coming up, which we call the hot dogs, the top 6 boats, which gave us such a good showing here a little earlier here on our program. We'll be back with the Atlas Van Lines, the Miss Budweiser, Squire Shop, American